Well, good afternoon, everybody. Today we have Karen Zengel with us, who is the executive director of a organization that probably everybody knows the name of St. Vincent de Paul of Northern Kentucky. And so, Karen, thanks for taking a few minutes and chatting with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us.
You bet. So, St. Vincent de Paul has been around the world for forever almost, but a lot of people may not know really what you do. What does the organization do, and what is it all about?
Yeah. So St. Vincent de Paul within Northern Kentucky actually started in 1911. And we are a society of friends, a group of volunteers who provide emergency financial assistance and basic necessities to people who may be struggling to make ends meet.
And that means a lot of different things, right? So what would be a couple of examples of the kind of things you're daily doing with your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way we serve our clients, first of all, under normal circumstances is through a home visit. So we have a group of volunteers who go out in pairs when someone calls for assistance, and they go to the home of the person or family who's reaching out for help. And we go to listen first and learn about their situation. And often that situation talks about some financial hardship that the family may have experienced. And as a result, they find themselves in a bind where they might not be able to pay their full rent or their utilities. And maybe they're not able to fill their pantry with food to feed their family. Maybe they're in need of basic necessities like clothing or a bed for their child. And so it really runs the gamut on basic needs. And we have a saying within the society that says no form of charity is foreign to the society. And so we try to help in whatever way we can to bring some hope and some light into that situation to let those people know that they're not alone.
Well, I know that it's amazing. If you look at the mission of what your organization does and about it, the center of the mission about what it's all about, it's very meaningful. So you're now dealing with this past few months of COVID. What kind of difference are you seeing in the need in the community, or is it anything that has surprised you about the need that's out there?
Yeah. So, one of the more significant things that has happened as a result of COVID and the stay-at-home order that was necessary to stop the spread is that, our normal outreach is facilitated through a home visit. And so we weren't able to have those personal visits, but we were still able to reach these families through phone or technology, thankfully, to continue the service. And in those conversations, we were learning that the need is deeper than what we were seeing pre-COVID. And so when a person would call for help, on average, they're asking for help on two different distinct needs. And when we really got to know more about what was going on within their lives, where they may have lost their job or needed to be home to care for someone who was sick, the need was more significant than we've seen in the past. So, for instance, maybe in the past we would see that a family was short on their rent because of an unexpected expense, and so they needed the last $100 to be able to make the month. Now we're seeing that they need $400, $500, maybe the full amount of rent to be able to make the month. And you're worried. You don't know what to do in that situation. You've never found yourself falling that short. And so, it's been interesting, to just understand how the need was evolving in this COVID environment. And, we wanted to do whatever we could to help.
So you see this deeper need, more needs, and potentially, you talked about early on a big need for food.
Yes.
And now as this has evolved, some of the things that are happening is the eviction courts and things of that nature will be opening back up, and the moratoriums on those will be ending. So are you expecting a bigger influx of clients potentially?
Yes, absolutely. So, there's really high unemployment right now. The moratoriums are being lifted. There's been a backlog in receiving unemployment, and we do expect that as the summer progresses, that we will hear from more people with those significant needs. Because our economy runs on all of this, right? And so if a person's not able to pay their rent, the landlord's not able to pay their bills, and
Exactly.
it's really important to keep us going and be able to not only keep these people safe in their homes, but also support the livelihood of a lot of people within our community.
And so ultimately, your financials have always been fairly strong, but you don't receive a lot of governmental funding. Most of your dollars come from, I believe, private donors, correct? And
That's right.
In your activities with regard to items in the retail side of it, I guess I would call it retail, but maybe
Yeah.
speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so we are, the way we're able to meet the needs that come to us come in, one of two ways. We do receive private donations from individual financial supporters and a lot of our community foundations. We receive no government funding at all. And then we also support our outreach through some of the sales that we are able to generate through our thrift store operations. And so we needed to close just like every other non-essential retailer back in March. And so March, April, May made us a little nervous because we were so heavily dependent on that revenue.
Sure.
But our community has been fantastic, and I think just has really rallied around the need that's here. And so we've been very blessed to have some strong financial support during that time from both foundations and individual supporters that have helped us meet the need and then some. I'm very excited and proud to say that we even expanded our outreach to areas where we typically were not able to help in the past because we didn't have an active conference available in that area. And can you imagine how you would feel if you weren't able to make your rent and you called St. Vincent de Paul because you heard they could help and then they said, sorry, we can't help. We did not want that to be the
Sure.
So thanks to this additional support that we were able to get from the community, we were able to answer those calls and meet those needs. And it's just a beautiful thing to be part of.
Well, it's kind of inspirational, right? I mean, you ultimately think you get more no's in this time when there's a need, but you're able to provide that yes to people when they need it, probably on many different levels, probably.
That's right. And I think even for our volunteers who are making those phone calls, right, to be able to say, yes, we can help, that's something they needed too, to just, see the light at the end of the tunnel in this really strange time that we've never been through before.
So Karen, I guess in wrapping up, if there was one big thing you think, if you wanted the residents in Northern Kentucky to know what's going on in the community and with your clients, what would it be today that you would want to have everybody understand?
Yeah, we need to, we first of all, as a community, we've done an awesome job of taking care of one another, and we need to continue that because, with unemployment at very high levels, and for a lot of people who have maybe never been in that situation, they need to feel that love and support that they're able to make it through this. And, these are uncharted waters for many people who may have lost a job. And, for them to know that they have support from their neighbors makes this place a wonderful place to live. And, they'll want to do the same when they're back up on their feet. I would just encourage our community to continue to be supportive, help each other as much as possible, be empathetic, and listen to some of the situations that our neighbors are going through, and we'll all get through this together.
Well, and a lot of times oftentimes people say, well, government's doing this, but in reality, all the work you're doing and have been doing is done privately. So that's something we also should be very supportive of and congratulate you on, and your team there and the board as well. So thanks for everything you're doing, and hopefully the need becomes lower as opposed to getting greater, but I know you're going to be there no matter what's needed.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it.
You bet.